Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
I don't think he was trying to take a shot at the team at all. It was just a plain and simple and obvious fact.
I think what's difficult, though, is, and I agree with you, right? I guess I agree with LeBron. The assessment of it all, it's why the Lakers organization seems to be comfortable with that truth, unless they disagree. But again, I don't really know how you disagree.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
You guys had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. You knew you were facing a Mike McDonald defense that disguises everything, and that was your game plan, to play scared. I mean, Mike Vrabel, I love the guy. He played that game, Donnie, like it was a preseason scrimmage in August and not the Super Bowl.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
It looked like a clump of grass. It didn't look like an eagle. That's the one, by the way, that USA Today claimed was the best ad. They thought the Lay's ad was number 2. The worst ad was any ad that had AI in it or had an AI company behind it. It wasn't because of the AI. It was because they were the most nonsensical ads you've ever seen. Does anybody look at these ads and understand if they are actually trying to do what they're trying to do, which is to showcase the product as opposed to being great with AI? Very embarrassing.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Let's get excited, people. It's a Monday morning right here on the SportsGrid Network. This is the early line post-All-Star weekend, post-Valentine's Day weekend, and away we go. We'll get you set up this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. No, there's no more football weeks here. Major League Baseball at the end of this week. You are going to have preseason games here ready to go in spring training. But more importantly, the NBA going to take a couple days off before they resurface back on Thursday. So college basketball going to take center stage for a while as we ramp up for March Madness. The topic's going to be fired today. I can feel it. We're ready to go. It's your boy DRS and Joe Ranieri, and here it is, the early line.
Right, and it was a exciting, Donnie, weekend. The first weekend without some football in for a while here, but it delivered on a lot of different fronts. And welcome in a new time of year, a whole lot new sports here to talk about.
Ready to do it, ready to have some fun. And again, if you're coming off that long weekend, some people do have the day off today, but we still work on the SportsGrid Network. Get your coffee, get your Hot Topics, Joe. What do you got?
Happy President's Day there, Donnie. And I am about to say something I haven't said in, a half a decade. The NBA All-Star Game was actually watchable. I know. I can't believe it either. Because for the last 5 years, we've had to tune in to watch a glorified layup line. But we watch guys jog. We watch guys hoist up 40-footers. And basically treat the game like it's a nuisance. But last night, they actually cared. And we can thank one man for saving Adam Silver's hide. And that man is the alien, Victor Wembanyama. Because the kid talked the talk all week about bringing competition back. And unlike everyone else, he walked the walk here, Donnie. Because in that first round robin game, Team USA versus Wemby's world team, it went to overtime. And Wemby drops 14 points, grabs 3 rebounds, and blocks 2 in that opening game alone. And I think we saw more block shots in that one game than we saw in the last 5 All-Star games combined. So when a 7-foot alien is sprinting the floor and swatting shots, guess what? It sets a tone. It's contagious. And you don't want to be the guy loafing around when Wemby is playing like it's a game 7 of the championship. Was it perfect? No. The weekend is still a massive corporate money grab. But the game itself, it actually delivered for the first time in a long time. And shout out to Anthony Edwards, your all-star MVP, who, by the way, if You listened to us here last week. You knew that was our pick for MVP to come out of that game. We can cash that ticket. But even Ant-Man admitted afterwards that it was Wemby that set the tone. When he was going out there running around like a lunatic, there was no way we were just going to sit back and watch. So take a deep breath, Adam Silver. You didn't fix it with your gimmicks. Wemby fixed it with his effort. If the players care, the fans will care. It is that simple, Donnie. Lesson learned, Adam Silver, I hope. Now, get back to what you do best, NBA. And, Donnie, that's tanking.
Tank City, and boy, they're trying to have some crazy. It's simple. By the way, for tanking, there's two options you can have, Joe. 1 through 30, however, I think it's 30 NBA teams. You all just put them in the one pot. But even better, Joe, if you don't make the playoffs, you put whatever lottery teams are in with one ball apiece, and that's how you do it. So it doesn't matter, Joe, if you're number worst record in the league or you're the 13th worst record in the league. It's a simple result that you can have. You don't have to get rid of the draft and free agents just go wherever they want. Just keep it simple here. Stupid, as they like to say. But also understand this, Joe. You know what I did like about this weekend? I didn't watch any of the festivities, but I did tune in, which we'll get into later, for Luka Doncic and the Lakers and how he played in the All-Star game. But isn't it a novel concept? Put a game on where everybody can watch, and if it's a good product, more people will tune in and be able to watch.
Shocker.
Because the one thing you're right about this, Joe, is for the past couple of years, cancel the NBA, cancel the NBA. I didn't watch the NBA All-Star game yesterday, but on Twitter and social media, they'll let you know right away. The people actually enjoyed that product. And the fact that it was on earlier and you can enjoy it and maybe a new concept comes in, maybe the NBA did find something here. Great stuff, Joe, on the hot topic to start this week. Now let's get to the early lineup. The quad god. What happened, Joe? This guy was supposed to sweep through the Olympics gold medal after gold medal. The man can't even get on the podium.
Kind of crazy, right? Because it was as if all of his events were just give him the gold, just penciled right in there. Give him the gold. He's going to be fine. And yikes. I mean, it just... He crashes twice in one event, Donnie, and really it went downhill from there, and that was it. Looks like he's going to be shut out here this Olympics, which is crazy.
Johannes Clabo, I don't know how this is done. Like, usually when you make it to the Olympics, you probably only get there once, and boy, if you could just get to the podium, what a life it's been for yourself. How about getting to the podium 9 times and they're all gold medals here at this point here? Unbelievable to have that type of longevity and perform at the highest level when the pressure is the most. Incredible stuff.
Yeah, and it doesn't get easier as you get older, right? So it's kind of crazy there. And kudos, man. I mean, truly, you can say the best at what he does and on showcase, once again, against the best around the world, Donnie. Not just his own country, but the best around the world is maybe a record that we won't see in a very long time.
NBA All-Star Game weekend. From what I find out, people couldn't stand what happened on Saturday. The dunk competition was an embarrassment, but we elevated ourselves on Sunday with an actual competition that you could watch, and the players took it seriously. What a novel concept. But, Joe, I do have this one question, though. I did watch the opening of it because I like the national anthems. I like when they introduce the superstars. But I was just waiting for one thing. I needed Luka Doncic to play in this game to show the absurdity about the NBA and why we continue to tell you that the NBA does not care, the players themselves, about the regular season. Luka Doncic sat out against Golden State, Oklahoma City, the San Antonio Spurs, and the Dallas Mavericks, only to get healthy enough to play in the All-Star game. I've never seen anything like this in my life, the fact that this can skate through here. But that's what I enjoyed from the NBA All-Star game. A guy who goes, I'm not playing for the team that pays me hundreds of millions of dollars on a contract. I'm going to sit all those meaningful games out, and I'm going to play in the All-Star game. I love to see it.
Well, I don't think they mentioned him once during the games, Donnie. I mean, he was that little. He might as well have sat out because I don't think anybody even knew he was on the court. That's how little effect he had. It was, and what made this really good, Donnie, is that it was clear. The younger generation, the young guys in the NBA, is really all anybody was talking about. It was their effort in that game that finally got people talking about the NBA All-Star game last night. But it had nothing to do with the likes of the Joker or LeBron or Doncic. It had nothing to do with those guys. It had to do everything with the younger generation.
How about yesterday? You had the Daytona 500 and ended in crazy fashion, crashes all over the place. When the smoke cleared, it was Tyler Reddick. I never even heard of that guy's name. Couldn't have fooled me if he was in that race. He wins the Daytona 500, which if you don't pay attention, that's a Super Bowl of NASCAR racing. And Michael Jordan, team owner, bang, bang, gets it done.
Go figure. Michael Jordan, part of a winning team. Yeah, there's a shock I've never heard. But one of the only, it's only the fourth time it's ever happened, Donnie, where a guy wins Daytona that never led a lap until the last one. The crash, and he survived it, and he was your winner. He did finish second last year, by the way, but nobody expected him even to come close to winning it this year.
How about Pebble Beach? Boy, they got after that golf course this weekend here. What if I would have told you Fleetwood and Scheffler went 20 under? Straka went 21 under. Minwoo Lee, 21 under. They didn't even win it. It was Colin Morikawa with a birdie on the final hole to go minus 22 after he had to wait, Joe, a good 25 to 30 minutes to hit his second shot here. It didn't freeze him up. He brought it, and he won it.
The story of this, I mean, great, Morikawa finally doesn't melt down on a Sunday. But when we went to bed on Saturday night, Scottie Scheffler was 75 to 1, okay, to win the tournament because he was 8 strokes back heading into Sunday. By the time he finished his round, he was tied for the leads. Just unbelievable, Donnie.
63 on Sunday wasn't good enough. And by the way, $3.6 million wired into Colin Morikawa's account this morning here. Jaylen Brown, he's not talking NBA All-Star game, Joe. He's talking about UFC after he retires.
Yeah, got shut down apparently. I don't know what's going on there with Jaylen Brown there, but yeah, why not? Another guy we didn't hear from much yesterday.
Get used to this. Major League Baseball players saying they love what the Dodgers are doing. Not so fast, people.
You're just trying to always build around what somebody does well. What is the DNA, the nucleus of what they do? Yeah. And everybody who gets to the tour is great at something because they're the top 1% of the 1% of golfers around the world. So I think people sometimes forget that, that won't work. Well, if you'd gone back 15 years, people would look at Scottie Scheffler and probably go, that's not going to work.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Super Bowl Sunday, about $870 million was traded. Again, I caution you, that is not the same as sports betting handle for a variety of reasons, but we also saw Nevada sportsbooks, which includes Las Vegas, only took about $133 million in handle. That was its worst performance in the decade in terms of total handle on the game. Now, we don't have ratings. We don't have a lot of other things. There's a lot of reasons for that.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The Patriots postseason to the worst regular season of the last umpteen years. Fair enough?
Fair.
All right. So the Patriots postseason, they averaged 1.13 points per drive, okay? Mm-hmm. The winless Cleveland Browns about 10 years ago averaged 1.22.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
So you know Gary Bettman wants the USA to win because he knows the bump that they can get out of this. Canada wins, and it's like, yeah, whatever. Right? And the level of pressure on Canada in this is next level. It's like it's equivalent to like Argentina in soccer or something, Brazil. It's one of those like, yeah, if you lose, don't bother coming home.
Winter Game Central, only on SportsGrid.
We don't have any NHL this week. They're still on break with the Olympics. But by the way, Olympic hockey this week, medal round start up. That is going to be so much fun to watch. And also, we don't have the NBA. They just played in the All-Star game, Joe. They won't appear back for us until Thursday, which means college basketball and the Spreadlines, those will absolutely be taking center stage here. And let's talk about it. Houston invading some Hilton magic at Iowa State. This line opened up overnight, Joe, a -1.5. We now sit today at most outlets showing a -2.5 for Iowa State in a total that's listed at 134.5. Houston comes into this game with the #1 most efficient offense in conference play, and also turns it over the least of everybody else and shoots free throws better than everybody else in conference play. Houston on the road to take on Iowa State. What's that spread line here for you, Joe?
Well, I mean, have you noticed there, Donnie, what that graphic said? That Houston is getting points, Donnie. They're actually getting points in this matchup here. So, and it's been a hot minute since we were last time that Houston was actually getting any points here. But listen, Iowa State, nice win over the weekend. But listen, over the last month, they have not been a wealth of consistency here. Now, Hilton Magic is a real thing. That stadium is no joke where they play there. I mean, that's in Ames, Iowa. They are going to sell out. They are going to be standing room only. It is going to be a crazy place. But since when has that ever bothered Houston? It's interesting here. I do think you're going to see Houston money and the Houston backers come in late here, Donnie. It would not shock me at all here if Houston wins this game. But Iowa State, the early love for sure in the market. I saw 1.5 yesterday. We're now 2.5 this morning, but I know that Houston money's coming back in at some point.
How about money coming back in on Syracuse tonight? I don't know how much it's going to happen here, unless you just say, like my dad would say, Joe, that's way too many points that you can give. How about this? Syracuse going to take on Duke down in Cameron Indoor Stadium. Overnight, Joe, we were seeing 20.5s in the marketplace. Down slightly now. Yeah, to 19.5, roughly a 3-touchdown spread for Duke as the home team. A total of 142.5 live. If we look at Duke in ACC play, the number one most efficient defense and also the number one most efficient offense. The one thing we know about Syracuse, not great on offense, not great on defense, not great at too much, Joe, but 19.5. What's your spread line here?
And they've actually been kind of competitive here, Donnie, over the last couple of games. Listen, it's never been a shortage of talent when it comes to Syracuse. There's some questions about, maybe a lame duck head coach here, that the Orange are going to move in a different direction, but they've actually been pretty competitive here. The Blue Devils, well, since their last loss, they just go scorched earth here. They've won back-to-back games so far here since that loss, and it feels like, call me crazy. I mean, they embarrassed Clemson over the weekend here, and it feels like this has got embarrassing written all over it here for Syracuse. But don't be shocked if Q's gives them a run for the money, at least early, Donnie, here. But we could get this thing to 20, maybe even 21 points by the time it tips off later tonight at 7 o'clock.
Let's go to the Southland here. I can't tell you how many times around like 2015, Joe, I was betting the Southland here, a little Stephen F. Austin action, Abilene Christian. And tonight, we have Stephen F. Austin on the road to take on Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Stephen F. Austin comes into this game as a 5.5-point favorite at some outlets, even as high as 6.5, and a total of 136.5 coming in here. You take a look at Stephen F. Austin, the number one defense in conference play, and also boasts the number two offense in conference play. Down in the Southland, Joe, Stephen F. Austin versus Texas A&M Corpus Christi. What's that actual spread line for you?
The Lumberjacks versus the Islanders right here tonight. But Stephen F. Austin, the class of the Southland, I mean, 16-1 in conference play here. Undefeated at home, Donnie. 14-0 as a matter of fact. But it should be noted that these two teams met earlier this year. And guess what? 2 months ago, back in January, Texas A&M Corpus Christi beat Stephen F. Austin 69-60 here, which explains why this number isn't much higher. You're talking about the Lumberjacks, usually a double-digit favorite over just about everyone else in the Southland, but they've already tasted defeat here with Texas A&M Corpus Christi. However, I doubt very much they are going to get swept by them here. Feels like you're getting a little bit of a discounted price, kind of like what we're getting with Stephen F. Austin here tonight.
Let's get to the medal rounds here this week in women's ice hockey, men's hockey to follow here and today at 10:40 a.m. So just when we get off the air today, Sweden's going to take on Team USA Women's Hockey Edition. Money line, minus 7,000 for the Americans here. You want the puck line? Minus 1.5. Minus 1,500 in a total of 6.5. Team USA, the women's side here, they've been absolutely blasting the competition. Do they do that once again today, Joe, in the Olympics? What's your spread line here?
I mean, how do you not expect that, right? It's a smash job once again. Have they given up a goal yet, Donnie, in any competition yet? I think they have been absolutely smashing everybody here. And listen, I think we had some sort of world, we had some sort of world games that in which the last time that these two teams played, yeah, Team USA crushed them then. They're going to crush them here too, Donnie. The problem is you just got to maybe hope Sweden can get out to a lead if that's possible, maybe get a better number in game. But right now, I hate to say it, that price is about as much of a lock as we have seen in any sporting event in a very long time.
Let's get the binoculars out. Why? We're not talking about a game tonight, Joe. How about a game tomorrow on the 17th on a Tuesday night? That's Miami of Ohio on the road to take on UMass here. What's not to love about Miami of Ohio's offense? It's absolutely fantastic, Joe. They get to the free throw line. They shoot the three-point shot. They shoot the free throws very well with a high percentage here. Let's get the binoculars out, as I said. What's going to happen tomorrow with Miami, Ohio on the road? That's your squad here.
Well, exactly it. And Miami of Ohio is one of those teams, yes, undefeated here. And they are going to have to keep winning games, Donnie, unfortunately. And they're going to have to do it right through the MAC championships, because if they don't, the at-large bid probably going to escape them. So every game from this point on for them is, yes, must win, not just to keep the unbeaten streak going, but you can ill afford to lose a game, especially coming up in the MAC tournament, and expect to make it to March Madness. I'm rooting for them, Donnie. You know that. It would be great to see them, but they got to take it one game at a time here, especially tomorrow against UMass.
By the way, I love the matchup for Miami of Ohio, too. You get to the free throw line for Miami here. You get a lot of fouls from UMass's defense and also three-point shooting. It should be unlimited for Miami tomorrow. Stay undefeated, kids. That's what we love. We'll be right back. Yep.
You're just trying to always build around what somebody does well. What is the DNA, the nucleus of what they do? Yeah. And everybody who gets to the tour is great at something, because they're the top 1% of the 1% of golfers around the world. So I think people sometimes forget that, that won't work. Well, if you'd gone back 15 years, people would look at Scottie Scheffler and probably go, that's not going to work.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Super Bowl Sunday, about $870 million was traded. Again, I caution you, that is not the same as sports betting handle for a variety of reasons, but we also saw Nevada sportsbooks, which includes Las Vegas, only took about $133 million in handle. That was its worst performance in the decade in terms of total handle on the game. Now, we don't have ratings. We don't have a lot of other things. There's a lot of reasons for that.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The Patriots postseason to the worst regular season of the last umpteen years. Fair enough?
Fair.
All right. So the Patriots postseason, they averaged 1.13 points per drive, okay? Mm-hmm. The winless Cleveland Browns about 10 years ago averaged 1.22.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
So you know Gary Bettman wants the USA to win, because he knows the bump that they can get out of this. Canada wins, and it's like, yeah, whatever. Right? And the level of pressure on Canada in this is next level. It's like, it's equivalent to like Argentina in soccer or something, Brazil. It's one of those like, yeah, if you lose, don't bother coming home.
Winter Game Central, only on SportsGrid.
Enjoying the Olympics, are you people? And by the way, I have been. I think the coverage has been very good, led by Mike Tirico, one of my favorite guys here calling games in football, or just the Olympics themselves. Some really good storylines. But let's get the people updated, Joe, on the medal count, what's happening in Milan. How about this? Norway, 12 gold, 7 silver, 7 bronze, 26 medals to lead right now. Italy, the home team, 22 medals, followed by Team USA at 17, Team Japan 17, and France at 15 here. But Norway running away with it right now.
You gotta love it, right, Donnie? We kind of, well, I guess they were favored for a reason,
Sort of
right? We knew that was
Yeah.
coming. Everybody kind of figured that, yes, this is their games, right? They were the medal count winner last time. They're going to be the medal count winner this time here. Although, shout out to Italy for making a run here with 22 total medals here. But it looks like it's all Norway's games, and we're just hanging out, waiting to see how many they get, Donnie.
Yeah, pretty good ratings so far for the Winter Olympics as well. And again, hockey comes up this week. And I know a lot of people really wait for the figure skating, men's and women's here. Those really drive some numbers. But it says here from the Wall Street Journal, after a rough decade, the success of Paris 2024 and now Milan Cortina, 2026 has restored the luster of the games. And also understand this. It's great theater because when the fans are there and involved, it makes it much better here for the spectators at home watching through TV. And also, when you take a look at the ski slopes and what they're doing, Joe, it doesn't hurt to have snow all over the place, and it's snowing during competitions. So the visuals are fantastic, and the people in the games themselves providing those efforts here. I'm enjoying it. I am. I'm not a huge Winter Olympics. I like the Summer Olympics a little bit better, but I'm really enjoying and watching along, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's actually pretty fun, pretty fun, especially exposed to, sports, Donnie, that we don't often see, right? It's not something, it's like an everyday occurrence. And and the storylines have been great. And NBC's done a great job. Tarico's done a great job of setting it all up. A lot of this is all about the storytelling as well there, Donnie. And it's been a lot of fun to watch these.
And I got to tell you something, like when you go into the Olympics, you try to hype it up for your brand because NBC probably pays $1 billion for the Olympic coverage here. But you want to build those storylines for superstars coming into the games. And maybe the easiest ones, which are the ones they're looking for, like, hey, give me a superstar talent that I know is going to get on that podium and we can pump it along. And if he wins 1 gold medal, 2 gold medals, 3 gold medals, we'll hype that coverage all the way through and it'll drive ratings. Well, the easiest guy on the men's Olympics, teams here and women's Olympic teams was Ilya Malinin, the quad god out here. This guy was supposed to skate into this thing and wipe the floor with everybody, and he doesn't even have a medal. And how about finishing in 8th place in the men's free skate final, something that he absolutely dominates? Like, you can't understand the pressure when you get to the Olympics and how good you're supposed to be there. But the simple fact of the matter is this guy was supposed to dominate, and it's not like he's just missing either at this point. An 8th place finish is crazy.
Yeah, not good. And it hasn't gotten any better, Donnie. And that's the other problem here. A lot of people just penciled in automatic gold medals for him. And yikes, not working out here. I mean, we saw him fall not once, but twice. Yeah, it could be a situation where mentally above the shoals, not for talent reasons, Donnie, but it starts to weigh on you. And not easy for a young guy here to be able to overcome that kind of disappointment.
Like, isn't it crazy where you take a look at some of these Olympic athletes and, like, he's multiple-time world champion, U.S. champion here, and none of that matters unless you get the gold medal at the Olympics here. But you do give him some credit. We see in some of the biggest moments here, superstars don't want to answer the press, and he showed up all week long answering to the press how embarrassing it's been at this point, and in the biggest moment of his life, all the agony here. So at least give him a shout-out for that, being held accountable. Now, granted, his pockets are probably still fat from all those endorsements, but when you are the best and don't perform like you're the best on the biggest stage, that hurts you for life, man. It does.
It really does. And again, I mean, for somebody that you don't experience defeat all that often, and when you do, it's yikes, especially when all the hype, Donnie, right? Heading into it about it was, he was just going to be setting the world on fire with gold medals and just has not worked out that way.
Like, he's a back-to-back world champion here. Like, you're supposed to just get there and just do the same thing, and it's a shame it hasn't worked out here, man. That guy does a lot of great things, but again, you can't fall. Big competitions, it's what happens here. How about this? Kazakhstan's first Winter Olympic gold medal since Lillehammer back in 94 when Vladimir Smirnov, what a great name there, won the men's 50K cross-country skiing. That was 10 years before Mikhail Shadorov was even born. Kazakhstan getting there, Joe.
You got to love it. Kazakhstan getting it done there. And again, another big reason why these Olympics have been so much fun here is there's always some great stories coming out of them, Donnie.
No doubt about it. By the way, when we're doing our PME shows here with the predictive markets, you take a look at saying, hey, you know what? Some of these 1%, 2%, 3% contracts, man, you might luck into a medal at that point and find some gold. And he certainly did that as well for Kazakhstan. Yep. By the way, Kazakhstan, is that where Borat is from here? Doing big things, people. We'll be right back after the break. More hot topics certainly on the way. Cowboys. Like, they're competitive every year. They're going to win a Super Bowl? No, but at least at the beginning of the season, like, I have aspirations to make a playoff, maybe win the division and see what we can do. For the Raiders, every day, the minute you kick off week number 1, you are out of the playoff picture. You stink and can't perform. That's tough because you don't get a 20-year career as a defensive end typically in the NFL. So your time now is to strike. I have all the money. Now I want to win.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
So you know Gary Bettman wants the USA to win because he knows the bump that they can get out of this. Canada wins, and it's like, yeah, whatever, right? And the level of pressure on Canada in this is next level. It's like it's equivalent to like Argentina in soccer or something, Brazil. It's one of those like, yeah, if you lose, don't bother coming home.
Winter Game Central, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Road trips to Kentucky and Tennessee, which are pressure environments where mistakes can snowball a team quickly. And not even listen at those games there. How about the home games they have left with Alabama and Florida, who bring size, who bring pace, and physicality that punish you on both ends of the floor.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
All-Star Weekend live from Los Angeles on Valentine's Day weekend. What could go wrong? Well, the All-Star game was quite good here, entertaining and served its purpose. I don't know if we could say for All-Star Saturday night, which did also have the earlier tip time here, if you will, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon West Coast time, 5 o'clock East, to make way for the Olympics at night. But the one thing we've always panned for the past couple years is Mac McClung saving the dunk competition all by himself, but he's not really an NBA player. So this year we had dunk competition, and it went viral on some dunks that looked like just your average Joe from the street could have pulled off some of those dunks. And to have Keshad Johnson as your slam dunk champion, Joe, and I got to tell you, I sent the tweet out right away. I never heard of this guy. You could have pulled him out from the stands and put a Heat uniform on this guy and just sold him as an NBA player. Never heard of him, but congratulations. He won the dunk competition. What do you think about that, Joe?
Yeah. There was more dancing than dunking going on, Donnie, at this competition. It really was the worst part of the weekend because you came out of that, not to mention you looked up in the stands, Donnie, and there was a lot of empty seats on Saturday in there. Yeah. This was not, they're telling us it's a sold-out arena. Like, there is nothing sold out about people trying to get to southern L.A. in the middle of the afternoon on a Saturday. It's not happening. And it looked it. And that's basically what they delivered. Didn't give me a whole lot of hope for Sunday's games. But it turns out, the last thing people will remember is the last thing they saw, right, Donnie? And fortunately for the NBA, the last thing they saw was actually some pretty good competition among the NBA's best last night.
How about winning the competition and calling your parents, Joe? Let's see this.
Mama. What? I did it, though.
You did it, baby.
Let's go.
What? Put your face there. Where your picture at? I got you, baby. Baby. I want to
Hey.
Everything you want your cheese. Baby, I knew you were going to do it.
Hello? Oh my goodness. Love you too, Dad.
Put in all the work.
Let me see the jersey. Yeah. Yeah. Love y'all.
Get turned up, Joe. Look at that. Turn it up, baby.
Gotta love it, right? Well, he also brought in rapper E40, right? So maybe that might have been the most exciting part. That was the most noise I think that they made is when he came out with him. But hey, kudos, man. I mean, between him and Damian Lillard, it was good to see the old man get back into it as well. But kudos to that kid, man. And that's the kind of story, Donnie, right there. That is what the NBA should be posting everywhere, not pictures of those lame dunks that he ended up winning it with. That was ridiculous.
By the way, you know how they do like the lottery, like behind the scenes, then come out for like the fake lottery where they already have it determined, then they flip the cards over here. How about we have the dunk competition where nobody gets to watch and they just release the results out there, Joe? That might be a little bit better. Like, I wonder what the dunk that he actually did to win it here. But take a look at this tweet. This is last year. John Morant saying, Mac might make me decide to dunk. And then Giannis like, I'll do it if you do it. And then we wound up with Jackson Hayes, Carter Bryant, Jace Richardson, and Keshad Johnson. Bang, bang.
What a difference a year makes, huh? Yeah. No, they did not do it in any way, shape, or form. Or, Giannis can't even stay healthy. And not to mention, he wouldn't know what uniform they're doing in anyway, because he's already 1 foot out the door. So, and John Morant, does he even have a team? Which is, I think, ironic that those were the two guys that we're talking about. Yeah, we'll get into the dunk. No, you won't. No, you won't. No, none of them.
I'm telling you, you can revive the dunk competition. It doesn't have to be spectacular Vince Carter dunks here, but it should be like if you make it to the All-Star game, you must participate in the festivities. Like, why can't everybody be in the three-point contest and everybody be in the dunk comp? At least you get to see superstars doing something, which is something we all ask for here. How about Damian Lillard? He didn't even play basketball this year. He's winning the three-point competitions left and right. 3rd time ever winning this contest here. Nobody's done that before. Crazy.
Well, and especially when Booker comes out. Ever to win, right?
Wow.
And you had Devin Booker comes out, doesn't miss a 3 in the first. You're like, nobody has catch. Devin Booker is going to run away with this 3-point competition. And then he goes ice cold in the last run, and Lillard just bang, gets it done. The money ball. And when he needed it the most, Lillard, impressive. I listen, I hope he gets back in the, for the rest of the way for Portland. And we get an opportunity to see him, one of the game's best shooters, actually play in the postseason. Would be great to get Dame Lillard back on the court.
I'll tell you, I'll never forget, man, just watching. Like, everybody knew Damian Lillard was going to Miami. It was just a matter of how much Pat Riley could hold out and get a better deal for Miami. And in the middle of the night, wham, shipped right off there into Milwaukee. He hated life there, ended up getting injured. Now he's going back with Portland. But his career says it, man. This isn't one of those guys, hey, I'm 6'6", I can dominate physically out here. He dominates because he's just that damn good. 9-time All-Star, 7 times All-NBA, All-Star MVP, NBA Top 75, Rookie of the Year, Bubble MVP, and now the 3-time three-point contest champion here. Is it future long-term for him to be in Portland, or is that one of those, hey, let me get healthy and then flip it out from Portland to go to a contender again? He needs a championship. He does.
Listen, I think it's going to be all about him starting there, ending his career there. And, and listen, I got a lot of young pieces. And they absolutely can make the postseason here. So, I hope he's back sooner rather than later to help that team, make a push because they got some players.
Secondary markets here. We've seen it a lot, Joe. And again, sometimes it does help. Like, hey, you know what? I want to go to this Eagles game. I want to go to this Giants game. I want to go to this 49ers game. There's always a chance for you to buy tickets because the secondary market will say, whatever you want to pay, you can get into the stadium. Never used to be that way. Before the secondary market's like, hey, do you know somebody who has tickets? And I'll take them off your hands for face value. Some of the All-Star games rent, if you will, for the month was due. $9.35 for tickets up top there for an NBA All-Star game. Absolutely ridiculous. Now, granted, we're not saying that that's what it's sold for, but people are just posting the tickets up if you want to buy that. You want people in the arena and the common fans to have that electric time here? Better start lowering these prices, man. That secondary market is ridiculous.
Yeah, and again, it was clear on Saturday night and even on Sunday where, there was a lot of empty seats in that building there. The energy just wasn't there. And, the players feed off the energy, but if the real fans can't actually afford to get into the game, then you're not going to get that kind of energy from corporate America. You're just not going to do it, Donnie.
No, it's not going to happen. Again, in Los Angeles, let's just hype it up and put it up that many. It's supposed to be like a fan showcase, and I get it. You want to sit courtside, yeah, you're going to pay a lot of money. But those tickets at the top of the arena for $9.35, like if you're trying to grow the game, it's the kids that grow the game. It's the dad that goes, I'm going to take my 2 sons to the NBA All-Star game. They'll remember that for the rest of their life and be NBA fans from the time they're 5 years old all the way up to 95 years old. Not, hey, sit it at home and have a boring night here. Like, honestly, I mean, just change that up. It could be simple, but also, as I told you, Joe, I do like the 5 p.m. starts here for the All-Star game. That's something that certainly could be worked out. And if we do put a recap on the All-Star game itself, how about the Team World, where everyone's like, the world's going to take it much more seriously here than these Team USA teams, which were 2 of them going up against the world. Not the case. The world didn't even notch a victory yesterday on Sunday, Joe.
No, they didn't. But they gave, Wembayama gave an effort there. But yeah, did Doncic even play? I don't know. We should have known better that expecting an effort from Doncic was probably not going to happen since he hasn't played in a week. But yeah, no, thank goodness for Wemby setting the tone for everybody else, including a handful of guys on the world team. But really, it feels like Wembayama lit the fire under the American 2 teams there than anybody else.
And by the way, I didn't watch the All-Star game itself. Was it just a double elimination tournament? Is that what it actually was structured? Because I see Team Stars won the championship 47-21, but they also lost to Team Stripes here. So it was like the best of the final game takes it double elimination.
It was basically in the first round is everyone played one another, and then if it was a 1-1 situation where everybody won one game, then it became a point differential of who would play one another, and then ultimately the world lost the first game. They won the third game, but then they ended up losing the other one, and that was the end of it. And then it was the 2 USA teams battling, the old school versus the new school USA, and the new guys won.
Yeah, I think we found the format that could work for the NBA All-Star game. How about that, people? Tom Vecchio is going to join us next. Let's get some of those top scenarios out. Cowboys. They're competitive every year. They're going to win a Super Bowl? No, but at least at the beginning of the season, I have aspirations to make a playoff, maybe win the division and see what we can do. For the Raiders, every day, the minute you kick off week number 1, you are out of the playoff picture. You stink and can't perform. That's tough because you don't get a 20-year career as a defensive end typically in the NFL. So your time now is to strike. I have all the money. Now I want to win.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
So Gary Bettman wants the USA to win because he knows the bump that they can get out of this. Canada wins, and it's like, yeah, whatever. Right? And the level of pressure on Canada in this is next level. It's equivalent to Argentina in soccer or something, Brazil. It's one of those if you lose, don't bother coming home.
Winter Game Central, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Road trips to Kentucky and Tennessee, which are pressure environments where mistakes can snowball a team quickly. And not even listen at those games there. How about the home games they have left with Alabama and Florida, who bring size, who bring pace, and physicality that punish you on both ends of the floor.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
It's a Monday morning. The party is starting here on the early line. It's your boy DRS along with Joe Ranieri. Let's welcome in Tom Vecchio after an exciting weekend here. A lot to look forward to, which includes, Tom, Major League Baseball on the horizon out there. I can see it now.
Yeah, Major League Baseball coming up. We just did pro baseball today for the first show yesterday.
Yeah.
We got about 5 weeks before the season starts. We also have the World Baseball Classic. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I've been enjoying the Olympics a lot, Tom. And again, hockey is a lot of fun, but we are waiting for the collision courses. We saw one already on the women's side with Team USA and Canada here, where U.S. got the best of them, but the medal rounds are coming up. But we are waiting for Canada and the USA in men's ice hockey. You saw yesterday, Canada 10-2 over France, which everybody's been lighting France up. And Team USA, 5-1 victory over Germany. What have you seen so far from Canada and the U.S., and will they be meeting in the gold medal game?
I truly believe they will be meeting in the gold medal game. They both have buys, at least in this round. So it's the first round of the playoffs, then it's quarterfinals, and then there is reseeding. It's not a straight bracket. There's reseeding after the quarterfinals, leading into the semis. And because Canada and U.S. are 1 and 2, they are expected to meet in the gold medal game. When it comes to Team Canada, obviously the offense has been unbelievable, and there's no defense really in the world, I guess I could say, that can contain McDavid, McKinnon, and even Macklin Celebrini, who's having an unbelievable tournament. When they are on the line together, and then you still have to deal with the likes of Mitch Marner, or Sam Bennett, Brad Marchand, whatever it might be. There's too much talent for any one team to contain them. So I truly believe Canada is the best team in the world, and they're on a collision course for the gold medal game.
Yeah, and it's both sides, right? I mean, likely both the women and the men. It's USA and Canada. I mean, is there? It feels like if you're going to get an upset, you might get it on the men's side, but it doesn't feel like the upset's coming on the women's side, does it?
No, on the women's side, Team USA is unbelievable. They are better than Canada, at least when it comes to the women's game. They're both huge favorites today, getting that underway. When it comes to the upset on the men's side, Sweden's a great team. Sweden's arguably the third best team in the world, and Team USA is set up to play either Latvia or Sweden tomorrow. On Wednesday. So Sweden and Latvia play tomorrow. Sweden's amazing. They could very easily beat Team USA. However, they're going to be playing on a back-to-back. Right, so Team USA clearly has the advantage in that one, but they are a very good team. If there's any stumble, it would be a lower scoring game that Sweden wins, 3-2 or 2-1, and Team USA just can't get the offense going.
Yeah, really fun stuff from the Olympics here as we get to those medal rounds here. We'll start to dip into it, but just waiting again. The Four Nations tournament was fantastic. A lot of times in the Olympics, the Team USA, Canada, some memorable games here. The U.S. finally looking to get that chance to take home a gold medal. Could it be this year? We'll find out, but they are the underdogs to Canada as it sits right now, Tom. Let's flip it over to Major League Baseball. As you did say, we did have pro baseball today on Sunday. You say, wait a second, there's no baseball being played yet. Don't you worry. We have 5 weeks to get you ready for opening day, which we will do that. But Tom, as we take a look, it seems to start and end with the Los Angeles Dodgers. I'm just taking a look at FanDuel right now. Plus 210 price to win the World Series. Yankees, Mariners, Mets, Phillies, and Cubs all behind them there. Once again, Tom, is it just the Dodgers too good for baseball? And will they win their third straight World Series championship? That's ridiculous.
Dodgers are by far the best team. There's no doubt about it. There's very limited ways to get value on the Dodgers. The only way I truly believe you can get value on the Dodgers is if you look to exact outcomes, which are extremely tough to nail down, especially this far out. They're tough to nail down. If we were having this conversation on September 1st, we wouldn't know exactly how the playoff bracket would play out. But, choosing the Dodgers to beat the Cubs, to beat the Phillies when it comes to, the NLCS, that's some way to extract value out of the Dodgers. The same thing would be said about the Dodgers to beat the Yankees, to beat the Tigers in the World Series, because I don't want to I don't want to take a plus 210 price on the Dodgers and have that locked up for 8 months. But I would rather take a 15-1 number on them on an exact outcome. They are the best team. I don't think they'll repeat this year. I think there's just too much variance in baseball that they can run through a cold stretch. I think they'll be there in the NLCS, but if there's any time, it would be this year that one team unseats them as the best team.
So we see it every year, Tom, right? In Major League Baseball, there's always teams that overperform, and then there's the teams that take a step back. What are some of the teams we're thinking aren't going to be what we saw them last year here? Does Detroit take a step back? Is it the Guardians? The Cubs? Who is it that takes a step back this year?
So a couple teams that are on my mind initially to start. I think the Guardians will take a step back. Them winning the division after an incredible September run. and a collapse from Detroit. Like, it's not just like, oh, the Guardians went 15-5 to close out the season and they come back and they win the division. That coincided with Detroit collapsing. I just don't see that happening again. So I think the Guardians will be in the mix as they kind of are every year. I just don't think they'll have that same type of juice as they did last year. I expect the Brewers to take a step back. They clearly overperformed last year, and they lost talent compared to what they had last year. Removing Freddie Peralta and getting no one back to replace him, like you got back a nice prospect in Jed Williams, but he's not a pitcher. He's not a frontline starter. I expect them to take a step back. On the other side, for a team taking a step forward, the San Francisco Giants, really high on the San Francisco Giants this year. Their win total sitting at 81 or 82.5. They made some nice moves in the offseason. They're a team I expect to take a step forward, them and the Rangers.
Tom, I want to have some fun with you here. We talked yesterday. Cal Raleigh hit 60 home runs last year, which is absolutely incredible. If we look at his career when he started to be a full-time starter, 2022, he hit 27 home runs. 2023, 30 home runs. 2024, 34 home runs. Last year, 60. I'm looking right now at FanDuel, Tom. And how about this? His home run total listed at 39.5. If I gave you a free wager on Cal Raleigh this year to hit 40-plus home runs, are you saying yes or no to that?
I would take the under. And, last year I think is clearly an outlier. And it's not just an outlier that he, it's not as if he exceeded his career average by a handful. Like, he was at the upper end of the bell curve when it comes to the range of outcomes, where he exceeded it, and he did so at the highest degree possible. And, some of that was momentum, like, when a player's hot, he's hot. But to maintain that on a year in and year out basis, if he does exceed 40 and he gets to 50 again, we have to start having conversation about Cal Raleigh being one of the best switch-hitting catchers of all time, one of the best catchers of all time. And I'm just not sure he's there. Some of his underlying metrics, the strikeout rate, still hitting 230, 240, just isn't good enough to maintain it on the year in and year out basis. We saw a historically great season. It was fantastic to watch. I just don't know if he has it every single year.
And by the way, in the playoffs, too, 12 games, still hit 5 bombs in the playoffs. Yeah. And the man was struck 65 total home runs last year. It's incredible. It's just crazy to see a 39.5. Tom, we'll talk a lot of baseball, have some fun in the futures. Thanks for joining us today on The Early Line. For myself and Joe Ranieri. We'll continue next.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
I don't think he was trying to take a shot at the team at all. It was just a plain and simple and obvious fact.
I think what's difficult, though, is, and I agree with you, right? I guess I agree with LeBron. The assessment of it all, it's why the Lakers organization seems to be comfortable with that truth, unless they disagree. But again, I don't really know how you disagree.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
You guys had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. You knew you were facing a Mike McDonald defense that disguises everything, and that was your game plan, to play scared. I mean, Mike Vrabel, I love the guy. He played that game, Donnie, like it was a preseason scrimmage in August and not the Super Bowl.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
It looked like a clump of grass. It didn't look like an eagle. That's the one, by the way, that USA Today claimed was the best ad. They thought the Lay's ad was number 2. The worst ad was any ad that had AI in it or had an AI company behind it. It wasn't because of the AI. It was because they were the most nonsensical ads you've ever seen. Does anybody look at these ads and understand if they are actually trying to do what they're trying to do, which is to showcase the product as opposed to being great with AI? Very embarrassing.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Major League Baseball certainly on the horizon. As we said, we're going to have some spring training games a little bit later in the week. Friday, I believe it starts with the New York Yankees. Then away we go. We'll follow up the World Baseball Classic and into the regular season. Let's enjoy that now. We're not worried about any labor negotiations going to shut down this season. That'll come next year. But the Chicago Cubs, they went out. They spent some money. They got Alex Bregman here to come in on a 5-year contract to play third base. Also bringing in Cabrera, Imanaga, which was a qualifying offer for him to come back. Harvey, Maton, Thielbar, and Milner here. The Cubbies, could they be the toast of the town in the Central this year, Joe?
Well, yeah, I mean, aren't they supposed to be each and every year? It's kind of funny, right?
Money.
Like the over expectations is crazy, and then ultimately Milwaukee overperforms. And the Cardinals, one of the rare down years that they had to hit the reset button there. But yeah, I do think it happens that with the players they have, Donnie, right now, the money that they have spent, there really is no excuse, right, at this point here for the Cubs, especially given the fact, like, unless you think the Pirates, who have finally decided to spend some money, Donnie, are actually going to make a run for it. The Reds are always going to be 500. We know that. It's rebuilding for the Cardinals. So who's left but the Cubs here to handle business?
Yes. Cubs team total this year, 88.5. So 90 clear is going to get you that win here. I do think there's a chance that they can do that. I think the Cubs are setting up well. Just got to stay healthy for this regular season here. Other news here, free agency. Griffin Canning agrees to a deal. He's on the move, headed out to San Diego to try to bolster that pitching staff.
Yeah, well, I don't know that Griffin Canning is going to get you the bolstering that you need to compete out west there, San Diego. But listen, I mean, you've had a long drawn out, it feels like, Padres ownership battle going on, right? AJ Preller, the GM, doesn't have the open checkbook anymore, right? So they're in that kind of, they're in that big lull right now where they could be better than we think, Donnie, but likely I would look towards a team total under win total for the Padres this year, because I think the public thinks they're going to be better than what they actually are.
Yeah, they just saw that, hey, the Dodgers are just going to way outspend us. No reason to try to spend with them at this point now, and you'll see that this year. Aaron Judge, full participant when the New York Yankees open full squad workouts, according to Aaron Boone. Get that arm back in the field here, so you'll need 16 relays to throw a guy out of second base. Like to see it.
Yeah, let's hope that's not the case here. But yeah, I mean, it should be. Everyone's had plenty of time to adjust and to heal up, right, Donnie? No reason that we should have any more elbow issues or anything else. Like, get out there and let's go. But the one I'm really looking to see is what version of Garrett Cole do we get back? That's the big one for me with the Yankees.
If he could be good, go there with Max Fried and the boys. Make a comeback there. Yankees possibly could win that division. By the way, they finished technically in a tie with Toronto last year, but you had the extra push for Toronto. They were the team, I think 94 wins for both of those teams last year. How about this one, though? Nick Castellanos played for the Phillies the past couple years. Phillies going to give him $20 million to not play for them this year, and he winds up in San Diego. 1-year contract at the veteran minimum. Saves the Phillies, Joe, a whopping $780,000 this year. How about that?
Yeah, but they knew that, and they were still willing to be like, just get out of here. Like, we want nothing to do with you. But now he's the Padres headache. Now, does that mean he bounces back here? Does he have a chip on his shoulder, or does he not care? We're going to find that out, I think, rather quickly here with him.
And by the way, Bryce Harper still talking up being confused about what Dave Dombrowski said about him last year, which you probably should have kept it in-house, Joe, and they didn't. But Dave Dombrowski, any fan you hear, is like, he said the right things. Like, we need you to be ultra elite. We don't know if you can get back to that here. And that comes in the midst of last year leaking out that Bryce Harper still has like 7 or 8 years on his contract, wanted another extension on top of that. Bryce Harper, here's a video for him saying, like, you know what? I'm not understanding this.
Not really. I mean, I don't get motivated by that kind of stuff. You know, for me, it was kind of wild, the whole situation of that happening. I think the big thing for me was, you know, when we first met with this organization, it was, hey, you know, we're always going to keep things in-house, and we expect you to do the same thing. And so, you know, when that didn't happen, kind of took me for a run a little bit. So I don't know, you know, it's part of it, I guess. You know, it's kind of a wild situation, you know, that even happening. Obviously, I didn't have the year that I wanted. Obviously, I didn't have the postseason I wanted. My numbers weren't where they needed to be. I know that, and I don't need to be motivated to be great, in my career or anything else. So that's just not a motivating factor for me. For Dave to come out and say those things, it's kind of wild to me still.
Why did you wear the T-shirt then?
For the motivation?
Or what the not elite T-shirt, the T-shirt that you posted.
We'll be right back. We'll talk more Harper and much more next.